Hey guys, it's Charlie, and I just got out of seeing a Regal special screening for Batman Returns. So, a little backstory with that one. So that one I distinctly remember seeing back in '92, so I would have been about 8 years old. I distinctly remember loving the Penguin Commandos in that movie. And of course, I mean, it's Batman movie, and Batman was very big because the animated series was a thing at that point. And of course, I'd seen Tim Burton's Batman when that one came out in '89 as well too. So I was very much aware of how great Batman was as a superhero in the movies. So going back as an adult now, so '92... we're in 2025, so we're talking about like 33 years later-ish? Something like that. Anyways, I could definitely see how audiences back then would feel kind of polarized by the darkness of this movie, because Tim Burton was basically given carte blanche to make a Batman movie the way that he wanted to do a Batman movie, because he originally did not want to come back to direct. And what you got is pretty much like the most Tim Burtonist Batman movie possible, because Tim Burton had free range to make a movie that he wanted to make, because he didn't feel as connected to the first Batman movie, and he originally didn't want to come back, but because he had carte blanche to make the Batman movie that he had always wanted, that's what he did with this one. And I do definitely appreciate this movie for what it is. It's basically like the Empire Strikes Back of the Batman trilogy, which would be Batman '89, this Batman, and Batman Forever, essentially. Even though there's Batman and Robin 2, and tonally, Batman Forever is way worlds different. But if this was like the original trilogy of, like, say, the Star Wars trilogy, then yeah, this would be like your Empire Strikes Back. Because this is essentially, it's essentially a psychological study of Batman's villains. Kind of, because yeah, Batman does take he definitely does take a backseat in this adventure. It's not necessarily his movie per se, or him dealing with what's going on. It's more like the origin of Penguin, Catwoman, and of course Christopher Walken as Max Schreck. And yeah, I appreciate this movie for where it went, tonally, casting wise, with the story. I definitely feel at the time, yeah, I can get why audiences back in '92 would have been adverse to this one, because it was being marketed as a kid movie, and it very much is not a kid movie. But I appreciate it for what it is. I definitely feel that because of how modern superhero movies are now, Batman Returns would not be as, like, adverse. It would actually be seen as a great piece of superhero cinematic cinema. Because nowadays, movies do go darker, and they do go longer, because standards have changed. Versus what standards were back in '92, where this was kind of marketed as, like, a kid movie to sell merch, kind of, and that's kind of where other Batman movies like Batman Forever kind of went. They became more toyetic, and definitely Batman and Robin, whew, that one went all in on toys. But yeah, it was definitely a more darker movie, but I appreciate it as an adult where that story went, because I definitely loved the more psychological aspects you got to Penguin, and most definitely Catwoman. And I still love those darn Penguin Commandos. They're like the cutest things ever. I mean, like, they're mainly their main part is in, like, the end sequence, pretty much, like, the last, like, third of the movie. But I still love those penguins. They're adorable. Okay, so those are my thoughts on how great Batman Returns is, and just a little bit of backstory about me being able to see Batman Returns now as an adult. The next one of these videos is going to be really special because it's going to be a review for Gremlins. Because Regal is going to be doing a special showing for Gremlins on next Friday. And I would have been 1 year old when that came out in '84, because I was born in '84. So yeah, I definitely have no memories of seeing that one in a theater, but very much seeing it on DVD and Blu-ray after, for sure, because I love Gremlins. So, okay, that's gonna be what's on the docket. Alright guys, peace.